They made one terrible mistake. They killed Earth's leader. Now, the entire galaxy would learn what happens when you awaken sleeping giants. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council floated in space like a giant crystal. Inside, representatives from 200 alien species gathered for the historic Peace Summit. Today was special. Today, humanity would sign the Great Peace Treaty. President Maria Chen stood at the center podium. She was Earth's first leader to address the council. Her silver hair shined under the lights. Her voice was calm and confident. "We come in peace," she said. "Humanity wants friendship, not war. We want to trade, to learn, to grow together." The alien delegates watched her with different expressions. Some smiled. Some looked bored. Others showed clear hatred in their strange eyes. Among the crowd sat Ambassador Krax of the Zarek Empire. His red scales gleamed as he whispered to his assistant, "Look at her. So weak, so trusting. Humans are soft." His assistant nodded. "They have no real military, just merchant ships and exploration vessels." Krax smiled, showing sharp teeth. "Perfect," President Chen continued her speech. "Earth offers technology, resources, and most importantly, our friendship to all species." In the crowd, a Zarek soldier moved quietly. Nobody noticed him reach into his coat. Nobody saw the small device in his hand. It looked like a simple communicator. It was not. "We believe that together," President Chen said, "we can build a better future for—" The blast was silent, but deadly. President Chen stopped mid-sentence. Her eyes went wide. She touched her chest. Red blood appeared on her fingers. She fell. Chaos exploded in the Grand Hall. Human security guards rushed forward. Alien delegates screamed and ran. The Zarek soldier disappeared into the panic. Earth's Vice President Marcus Webb caught President Chen as she collapsed. "Maria, stay with me." She looked up at him. Blood came from her mouth. "Marcus, don't let them get away with—" Her eyes closed. President Maria Chen, Earth's hope for peace, was dead. The Grand Hall fell silent. Ambassador Krax stood slowly. His face showed fake shock. How terrible. A tragic accident during the energy system malfunction. Accident? Vice President Webb's voice was cold as ice. "That was an assassination." The council leader, a tall blue alien named Torth, raised his hand. "Please calm down. We will investigate. But we must not jump to conclusions." "Conclusions?" Webb's hands shook with rage. "Your security failed. Or worse, they allowed this." Torth's face remained emotionless. "These are serious accusations. We will form a committee to study this incident." "A committee?" Webb looked at the council in disbelief. "A committee? The leader of Earth was murdered in your hall, and you want to form a committee." Ambassador Krax spoke again. "Perhaps humans should not make hasty decisions. After all, you are new to galactic politics. These things happen sometimes." Webb stared at him. Something in Krax's eyes told him the truth. The Zarek Empire did this, and the council would do nothing. "We're leaving," Webb said. "And we're taking President Chen home." "Of course," Torth said. "Please accept our deepest sympathies. We will contact Earth soon with our findings." Webb knew they would find nothing. The investigation would go nowhere. Justice would never come. But as he carried President Chen's body to the Earth transport ship, something changed in his eyes. Something dark, something dangerous. 7 days later, the Zarek Empire celebrated in secret. Ambassador Krax drank expensive wine with his commanders. The humans went silent. One commander laughed. "They're scared." "Of course they are," Krax said. "They have no army, no weapons, just merchants and scientists. Earth will accept our terms now. They'll pay us tribute or face consequences." "What about the council?" asked another. "The council does nothing. They never do." Humans learned an important lesson today. In this galaxy, the weak die. They all laughed. None of them noticed the small Earth probe hiding near their station. None of them knew it was recording everything on Earth. Vice President Webb, now acting president, sat in the war room. Around him stood people who hadn't been seen in public for 20 years. Admiral Sarah Kane, former Earth Defense Force commander, General Thomas Park, the ghost of the Mars Rebellion, Dr. Elena Volkov, creator of weapons the galaxy had never seen. "They think we're weak," Webb said quietly. "Good," Admiral Kane replied. "Let them think that." On the screens behind them, images appeared. Hidden shipyards on the dark side of the moon, secret bases in the asteroid belt, weapons facilities buried under Mars, and ships, massive, terrifying warships that Earth built in secret for decades. "How long until we're ready?" Webb asked. "The fleet is ready now, sir," Admiral Kane said. "We've been ready for 10 years. We hoped we'd never need it." Webb looked at President Chen's picture on the wall. His jaw tightened. "Send the message to all our people," he ordered. "Tell them what happened. Tell them why." "And then?" General Park asked. Webb's eyes turned cold. "Then we remind the galaxy why humanity stopped fighting among ourselves. We remind them what we really are." Far away, in a Zarak listening post, a young officer noticed something strange on his sensors. "Sir, I'm detecting movement near Earth." His commander barely looked up. "Probably merchant ships." "No, sir. These are bigger, much bigger." The commander walked over and looked at the screen. His face went pale. "How many?" The officer's hands shook. "I count 50, no wait, 100. Sir, they're still coming." The commander hit the emergency alert, but it was too late. Humanity was coming, and they brought war with them. The galaxy laughed at Earth's silence. They should have been afraid. Commander Vex of the Zarak Border Patrol was having a normal day. His ship floated near the edge of Zarak space, watching for pirates and smugglers. It was boring work. "Nothing ever happened here." "Commander," his sensor officer called out. "I'm detecting something." "What is it?" Vex asked, not even looking up from his report. "Unknown ship. Coming out of hyperspace." "Probably another human merchant crying about their dead president," Vex laughed. "Let them pass. They're harmless." But when the ship appeared, Vex's laughter died in his throat. It was massive, 5 times bigger than his patrol cruiser. The hull was dark gray, covered in armor plates. Weapons bristled from every surface, and on its side, painted in white letters, was one word: vengeance. That's not a merchant ship," the sensor officer whispered. Vex's hands shook as he opened communications. "Unknown vessel, this is Zarak Border Patrol. Identify yourself immediately." The response was cold. "This is the Earth Defense Force destroyer Vengeance. You have 10 seconds to power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded." Vex couldn't believe it. "You dare threaten us? Do you know who we are?" "Yes," the human voice replied. "You're the empire that murdered our president." 9 seconds. "We had nothing to do with that." Vex lied. 8 seconds. Vex's pride took over. "Fire all weapons! Destroy that human ship!" His patrol cruiser's weapons lit up space with laser fire and missiles. They hit the human destroyer's shields. The shields glowed bright blue and held. Not even a scratch. 7 seconds. The human voice continued, calm and cold. "What are they made of?" Vex screamed. "Fire everything." "Full power." The patrol cruiser unleashed everything it had. Torpedoes, energy beams, plasma cannons. The attack would destroy a normal ship 10 times over. The human destroyer didn't even slow down. "Time's up," the human said. What happened next took 3 seconds. The human ship fired once. A single beam of pure white energy shot out. It cut through the Zarak patrol cruiser like paper. The ship split in half. Explosions erupted from both sections. Vex barely had time to scream before his world turned to fire. The destroyer Vengeance didn't stop. It continued into Zarak space, followed by 10 more ships just like it. Then 20. Then 50. The invasion had begun. At the Galactic Council leader Torth received the emergency transmission. His blue face turned pale as he watched the footage. "How is this possible?" he whispered. "Humans don't have a military." Ambassador Krax burst into the council chamber. His red scales were dark with fear. "You must help us. The humans are attacking." "Calm down," Torth said. "How many ships?" "We don't know. Hundreds, maybe thousands. They appeared from nowhere." "That's impossible. We have spies on Earth. They reported no military. Your spies were wrong," Krax screamed. "They're destroying everything. Our border stations are gone. 3 colonies are under attack." "Where did they hide these ships?" An intelligence officer ran in with a data pad. "Sir, we found something. Look at these images." The screen showed Earth's moon, but now massive doors were open on the dark side. Ships poured out like angry hornets. Another image showed Mars. Underground hangars opened, releasing more warships. Another showed the asteroid belt. Hidden stations that looked like rocks were actually shipyards. They've been building for decades, the officer said quietly. Right under our noses. Torth sat down slowly. How did we miss this? They wanted us to miss it, the officer replied. Every human merchant ship we saw, every exploration vessel, they were all civilian. The humans kept their military completely separate, completely hidden. Krax grabbed Torth's arm. You must call an emergency session. Declare humans a threat to the galaxy. Send the Council fleet. Torth pulled his arm away. The Council doesn't involve itself in bilateral conflicts. You know this. Bilateral. Krax couldn't believe it. They're going to destroy us. Then perhaps, Torth said coldly, you should not have murdered their leader. Krax's face showed shock. You knew? We suspected. But you're correct about one thing. We need to stop this before it spreads. Torth activated the Council's emergency broadcast. His message went to every species in the galaxy. People of the galaxy, this is an urgent message. Earth has launched military attacks against the Zarek Empire. We call for immediate ceasefire, and the transmission was cut off. Every screen in the Council chamber changed. A human face appeared. It was Admiral Sarah Kane. Greetings, Council Leader Torth, she said. Her voice was ice. I'm afraid we're not interested in ceasefire. How did you hack our systems? Torth demanded. We didn't hack them. We built backdoors into them 20 years ago when we helped upgrade your communications. You're welcome for that, by the way. Torth's hands gripped his chair. What do you want? Justice. President Maria Chen was murdered in your hall, under your protection, and you did nothing. We were investigating. Kane's laugh was bitter. We investigated. It took us 6 hours to find proof. The Zarek Empire planned and executed the assassination, and 12 other council members knew about it. That's a lie. Krax shouted. Kane's eyes found him on the screen. Hello, Ambassador Krax, we have your communications. All of them. The planning meetings, the payment to the assassin, everything. Krax's face went pale. Kane continued. You thought humans were weak. You thought we were just merchants and scientists. You forgot to study our history. Your history? Torth asked. Yes. Before we went to space, humans spent 10,000 years fighting each other. We had wars that killed millions. We built weapons that could destroy our whole planet. We learned to fight in every environment, land, sea, air, space. We became very, very good at war. Kane leaned forward. Then we united. We put away our weapons. We became peaceful. We explored space looking for friends, not enemies. But you forgot something important. Just because we chose peace doesn't mean we forgot how to fight. The screen changed. It showed the Zarek fleet gathering at their homeworld. 5,000 ships, the pride of their empire. That's an impressive fleet, Kane said. We're sending 200 ships to meet it. Should arrive in 6 hours. 200 against 5,000. Krax laughed with relief. You're fools! Kane smiled. It was not a nice smile. We'll see. The transmission ended. Torth looked at Krax. You've doomed us all. 6 hours later. Battle of Zarek. Prime Captain Chen, named after the fallen president, commanded the destroyer Righteous Fury. Around him, 199 other Earth ships dropped out of hyperspace. Ahead of them, 5,000 Zarek warships waited in formation. They outnumber us 25-1, his tactical officer reported. Good, Captain Chen replied. Then this will be over quickly. The Zarek fleet charged forward, firing everything they had. Space lit up with weapons fire. The Earth ships activated their shields. The enemy fire hit, and did almost nothing. Return fire, Captain Chen ordered. Show them what real weapons look like. The Earth ships fired. What happened next would be talked about for centuries. Human weapons were different. They didn't just damage ships, they destroyed them completely. Zarek vessels exploded into pieces. Some simply vanished, torn apart at the atomic level. The Earth ships moved like dancers, impossible fast and agile. They dodged enemy fire easily. Their targeting computers never missed. In 15 minutes, 1,000 Zarek ships were destroyed. In 30 minutes, 3,000 were gone. The surviving Zarek ships tried to run. They couldn't. Human ships were faster. 1 hour after the battle began, the Zarek home fleet was completely destroyed. Not a single Earth ship was lost. Captain Chen opened a channel to Zarek Prime, the Empire's homeworld. People of the Zarek Empire, your fleet is gone. Your military bases are destroyed, but we're not here to kill civilians. He paused. We're here to deliver a message. You killed one human, just one, and look what happened. Imagine if you killed 1,000, 1,000,000. Remember this day. Remember what happens when you touch Earth. The Earth fleet jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind burning wreckage and a terrified empire. Back at the council, every species watched in horror. Humans had destroyed the mighty Zarek Empire in one day. One single day, an old alien counselor named Reth stood up. He was ancient, one of the oldest beings in the galaxy. I warned you all, he said quietly. I studied humans. I read their history. They're not traders. They're survivors, warriors, predators. We thought we were the apex species of this galaxy. We were wrong. Humans are the apex, and we just made them angry. On Earth, Admiral Kane looked at the casualty reports. 0 deaths, 0 injuries. Complete victory, but she didn't smile. Because this wasn't over. 12 empires had known about the assassination plot. 12 empires stayed silent, and humanity was going to visit every single one of them. The awakening was complete. The galaxy would never be the same. They wanted war. Humanity gave them extinction. 3 days after the Battle of Zarek Prime, the Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. Every ambassador looked terrified. The mighty Zarek Empire, once feared across the galaxy, was now begging for mercy. Ambassador Krax stood before the council. His proud scales were dull. His voice shook. Please, he begged. We surrender. Tell the humans we surrender. Council leader Torth looked at him with cold eyes. We've been trying to contact Earth for 3 days. They won't answer our messages. Then send a delegation. Send ships. They must accept our surrender. Every ship we send is turned away by the human fleet, Torth replied. They say they're not finished yet. Not finished? Krax collapsed into his chair. What more do they want? They destroyed our fleet. Our military bases are ash. Our economy is ruined. A new voice spoke from the shadows. They want the truth to spread. Everyone turned. In the corner sat Ambassador Yela of the Krenth Federation. Her 6 eyes glowed in the dim light. What do you mean? Torth asked. Look at what the humans are doing, Yela said. They're not occupying Zarek worlds. They're not stealing resources. They're just leaving messages. She activated a hologram. It showed a Zarek colony world. In the center of the main city, a massive monument now stood. On it, words were carved in every galactic language. Here stood the Zarek Empire. They murdered President Maria Chen of Earth. This is mercy. This is a warning. Never touch Earth again. They're doing this on every Zarek world, Yela continued. Hundreds of monuments. Millions of people see them every day. The message is spreading across the galaxy. Torth understood. They want everyone to know. They want everyone to fear them. No, Yela corrected. They want everyone to remember. Remember what happens when you hurt humanity. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the council chamber. What now? Torth demanded. An officer ran in. Sir, human fleets are moving. They're heading to... Oh no, where? Torth grabbed him. Everywhere, sir. They're heading to 11 different empires. All at once, the chamber fell silent. Then chaos erupted. 11 ambassadors jumped from their seats, screaming. They all knew why humans were coming. They were the ones who knew about the assassination. The ones who stayed silent. Ambassador Yela of Krenth Federation grabbed her communicator. Get me my government now. Ambassador Drix of the Helion Collective tried to run. Guards stopped him. Let me go, he screamed. I have to warn my people. Warn them about what? Torth asked coldly. Warn them that you helped murder an Earth leader? That you thought humans were weak? Drix fell to his knees. We didn't kill her. We just knew about it. And you said nothing, Torth replied. You let it happen. Outside the council station, the galaxy watched in horror as human fleets moved to their targets. This wasn't war. This was a message written in fire and steel. The Krenth Federation. Day 4 Admiral Kane commanded the Earth fleet personally for this attack. The Krenth Federation was different from the Zarek Empire. They were scientists and philosophers. They prided themselves on wisdom and logic, but they knew about the assassination. And they did nothing. The Krenth home fleet gathered near their capital world. 2,000 ships. They didn't want to fight, but they would defend their home. Admiral Kane's voice echoed across all channels. Krenth Federation, we know you were part of the conspiracy. Surrender now, and only your government will face justice. The Krenth Admiral responded. We had no choice. The Zarek Empire threatened us. They said they would attack us if we warned Earth. So you chose your safety over our president's life. Kane replied. We had to protect our people. And now, Kane said quietly, we have to protect ours. Last chance. Surrender or be destroyed. The Krenth Admiral looked at his fleet, at his people's homes below, at his 6 children in the capital city. We surrender, he whispered. The Krenth fleet powered down their weapons. The war was over before it began, but Kane's work wasn't finished. She landed on the Krenth homeworld with a battalion of human soldiers. They marched straight to the government building. The Krenth Council of Elders waited inside. 12 old aliens who ruled with wisdom for centuries. You will face trial on Earth, Kane told them. Pack your belongings, the elders spoke. We are too old for space travel. We will die before reaching Earth. Kane's face showed no emotion. Then you will die in transit, but you will face justice. They were taken away in chains. The Krenth people watched in shame as their leaders were removed by humans. Before leaving, Kane erected the monument in the capital square. Another reminder, another warning. The Helian Collective, Day 5. The Helian species were warriors. They loved battle. They thought honor was more important than life. When the human fleet arrived, the Helians charged immediately. Today we die with glory, their commander shouted. The battle lasted 40 minutes. The Helian fleet fought bravely. They used tactics from 1,000 wars. They showed no fear. It didn't matter. Human weapons were beyond anything the Helians had seen. One human destroyer destroyed 50 Helian warships. Human shields couldn't be broken. Human ships moved like ghosts. The Helian commander watched his fleet burn. In his culture, defeat was worse than death. What are you? He whispered on the open channel. What kind of species builds weapons like this? Captain Rodriguez of the destroyer Manila answered. A species that spent 10,000 years perfecting war. We fought each other with swords, then with guns, then with bombs that could destroy cities. We learned every way to kill, every tactic, every strategy. Then we stopped. We chose peace. We explored space looking for friends. Rodriguez's voice turned hard. But you reminded us what we really are. And now we're showing you. The Helian fleet was destroyed. The commander's last words were broadcast across the galaxy. We thought we were warriors. We were children playing with toys. These humans, they are death itself. The Vortax Kingdom, Day 6. The Vortax were traders like humans. They understood economics and diplomacy. Surely they could negotiate. Their queen contacted Admiral Kane directly. Admiral, please. We can make a deal. Resources? Technology? Name your price. There is no price, Kane replied. You knew about the assassination. You could have warned us. You didn't. We didn't think they'd actually do it. It was just talk. Just talk? Kane's voice rose for the first time. President Chen is dead, and you heard them planning it. You did nothing. Please. We have children, families. So did President Chen. She had a daughter. She was 17 years old. She watched her mother's assassination on live broadcast. She held her mother's body when it came home. Kane paused. That girl asked me one question. She asked, why didn't anyone help her? What should I tell her? That the galaxy values trade agreements more than lives? The Vortax Queen had no answer. Your government will face trial. Kane continued. Your fleet will be dismantled. Your weapons manufacturing will be destroyed. But we won't harm civilians. That's the difference between us and you. The Vortax Kingdom surrendered without firing a shot. Back at the Galactic Council, Day 7, one by one, empires fell. Some fought, some surrendered, all lost. The Council watched in horror as humanity's rage swept across the galaxy. This wasn't conquest. Humans didn't occupy worlds or take resources. They just removed governments, destroyed military forces, and left monuments. Monuments that all said the same thing. This is what happens when you hurt humanity. Ambassador Yella spoke again. We must stop them. They're too powerful. How? Torth asked. They defeated the Zarek Empire in one day. The Helian warriors in 40 minutes. They're unstoppable. An old voice spoke from the chamber entrance. It was Counselor Reth, the ancient alien who warned them before. There is one way, he said. We form an alliance. Every empire, every species. We combine our fleets into one massive force. Humans are powerful, but they're still just one species. We are 200 species. Together we can stop them. Torth thought about it. An alliance of that size. It's never been done. These are desperate times, Reth replied. Would you rather let humans destroy empire after empire? Today it's the Zarek and Helians. Tomorrow it could be us. Fear spread through the chamber. Reth was right. If humans weren't stopped, no one was safe. Very well, Torth announced. Send messages to all member species. Tell them to prepare their fleets. We will meet humans with the largest army in galactic history. Surely they'll back down when they see our numbers, Ambassador Drix said hopefully. Counselor Reth shook his head slowly. You still don't understand humans. They won't back down. They'll see it as a challenge. Then what will happen? Someone asked. Reth looked out at the stars. Then we'll discover if 200 species can defeat one very, very angry species. And I truly fear, we're about to learn a terrible lesson. On Earth, Admiral Kane received intelligence reports about the forming alliance. 12 empires were creating the largest fleet ever assembled. 5 million ships. Crew of 20 billion. Her staff looked worried. Admiral, this is too many. We can't fight them all. Kane smiled. It was not a happy smile. Tell them we accept their challenge. Send our full fleet. How many ships, Admiral? Kane's eyes gleamed. All of them. Show the galaxy what Earth has been building. 12 empires.
5 million ships.
One question, would it be enough? The galaxy held its breath. At the nexus point, an empty space between star systems, the largest fleet in history gathered. Ships from 200 species filled the void like a metal. Ocean, destroyers, carriers, battleships, dreadnoughts, every type of warship ever built. Commander Zefix of the Talron Empire commanded the Alliance fleet. He was chosen because he never lost a battle. He was a legend, a genius of war. He stood on the bridge of the supercarrier Unity, looking at the tactical display. 5 million green dots. His fleet. Sir, all ships report ready, his officer said. Zefix nodded. And the humans? Long-range sensors detect them. They're coming. How many? The officer checked his screen. We count. Approximately 500,000 ships, sir. Zefix smiled. 500,000 against 5 million. 10-to-1 odds. They're brave, I'll give them that. Or stupid, his second-in-command added. No, Zefix said seriously. We've seen what they can do. Don't underestimate them. But numbers matter. Even humans can't defeat these odds. Across the Alliance fleet, soldiers prepared for battle. Some prayed. Some checked weapons. Some wrote final messages to families. Everyone knew this would be the biggest battle in galactic history. On the other side of space, the Earth fleet approached. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship Indomitable. Around her, 500,000 human ships moved in perfect formation. Admiral, we're outnumbered 10-to-1, her tactical officer reported. I can count. Lieutenant, Kane replied calmly. They have us surrounded on all sides. It's a perfect trap, Kane smiled. For them? Or for us? The officer looked confused. Ma'am? You'll see. Are all ships in position? Yes, Admiral. All vessels ready. Weapons charged. Shields at maximum. Kane took a deep breath. Behind her on the wall hung a picture of President Maria Chen. Kane touched it gently. This is for you, Madam President, she whispered. For you and for Earth. She turned to her crew. Open a channel to the Alliance fleet. Channel open, Admiral. Kane's voice echoed across 5 million enemy ships. Commander Zefix of the Talron Empire. I am Admiral Sarah Kane of Earth Defense Force. You have one chance to surrender. Across space, on the Unity Bridge, Zefix laughed. His officers joined him. The sound was broadcast back to the human fleet. You want us to surrender? Zefix couldn't believe it. Look at your screens, human. You're surrounded, outnumbered, outgunned. Yes, Kane agreed. That does seem to be the case. Then surrender now and we'll show mercy. I don't think so, Kane replied. You see, Commander, you made the same mistake as the Zarek Empire. The same mistake as the Helians. The same mistake everyone makes. And what mistake is that? Kane's voice turned cold. You think this is our full strength? Zephyx frowned. What? These 500,000 ships? They're just our opening move. Tell me, Commander, have you ever heard of Earth saying, speak softly and carry a big stick? What does that mean? It means we've been speaking very softly for a very long time. Now let me show you the stick. Kane made a signal. Across the human fleet, every ship activated something new, something the galaxy hadn't seen yet. Space itself began to ripple. What's happening? Zephyx demanded. Sensors. Report, sir. I'm detecting. I don't understand. There are more ships. More ships where? Everywhere, sir. They're coming through. Portals, wormholes. I've never seen this technology. Behind every human ship, space tore open. And through those tiers, more ships appeared. Not hundreds, not thousands, millions. Zephyx watched in horror as Earth's true fleet revealed itself. The 500,000 ships multiplied into 2 million, then 5 million, then 10 million. How? He whispered. How is this possible? Kane's voice answered. Humanity didn't just build ships in our solar system, Commander. We built them everywhere. Hidden stations in deep space, automated factories in dead star systems, construction yards in dimensions you don't know exist. You've seen what we showed you. Now see what we hid. The Earth fleet now outnumbered the Alliance 2-1. But Kane wasn't finished. Fire, she ordered. What happened next would be remembered forever. The Battle of Nexus Point. The human fleet attacked from all directions at once. Their weapons were like nothing the galaxy had seen. Regular warships fired energy beams that cut through multiple ships in a single shot. Missiles that could think, dodging countermeasures and finding weak points. Electromagnetic pulses that shut down entire sections of the enemy fleet. But those were the conventional weapons. Then, humanity showed their experimental technology. Ships appeared and disappeared, teleporting across the battlefield. One moment they were 1,000 miles away. The next they were behind enemy lines. Reality-warping bombs exploded, creating black holes that swallowed entire squadrons. Drone swarms numbered in billions, each one small but deadly, working together like a hive mind. And the flagship, Indomitable, fired its main weapon for the first time. A beam of pure white energy shot across space. It didn't just destroy ships. It erased them. Matter converted directly to energy. One shot, 1,000 ships gone. Not destroyed, simply removed from existence. Commander Zephyx tried to organize his fleet. All ships, Formation Delta 7, focus fire on their flagship. 5,000 ships turned their weapons on Indomitable. Energy beams, missiles, plasma cannons, everything they had. The attack hit the human flagship's shields. The shields glowed bright blue. They held not a single scratch. Impossible. Zephyx screamed. Nothing can withstand that much firepower. His science officer checked the readings. Sir, they're shields. They're not normal energy shields. They're bending space itself. The attacks aren't hitting the ship. They're being redirected into another dimension. Another dimension? That's theoretical. No one has that technology. Humans do, sir. Zephyx realized the truth. Earth wasn't just ahead in military power. They were ahead in everything. Physics, engineering, mathematics. While other species explored space, humans studied it, understood it, mastered it. All ships retreat, Zephyx ordered. Fall back. But there was nowhere to retreat. Human ships surrounded them completely. Every escape route was blocked. The Alliance fleet tried to fight. They used tactics from 1,000 wars, flanking maneuvers, concentrated fire, suicide runs. Nothing worked. Human ships moved like they could predict the future. Every attack was countered. Every trap was avoided. Every strategy failed. It was like fighting ghosts. Admiral Kane watched the battle from her command chair. She felt no joy, no excitement, only duty. Casualty report, she ordered. 73 human ships damaged, 0 destroyed, 0 crew deaths, and them, 2 million enemy ships destroyed, approximately 4 billion enemy casualties. Kane closed her eyes. 4 billion lives, all because their leaders made a bad choice. Commander Zephyx is broadcasting a message, Admiral. Play it. Zephyx's voice came through. It was broken, defeated. Admiral Kane, we surrender, please. Stop the attack. We surrender. Kane raised her hand. Across the human fleet, every ship ceased fire. The sudden silence was deafening. Commander Zephyx, Kane said, I accept your surrender, but there are conditions. Anything, please. Every leader who voted to ignore President Chen's assassination will face trial on Earth. Every species will reduce their military to defensive forces only. And every world will display a monument to Maria Chen, reminding the galaxy what happens when innocent leaders are murdered. We accept. All of it. There's one more thing, Kane added. The Galactic Council will be reformed. Earth will have a permanent seat, and any decision to go to war will require Earth's approval. Silence. Then Zephyr spoke. You're taking control of the galaxy. No, Kane corrected. We're preventing another war. We're making sure no one else loses their leader to assassination. We're bringing order. Through force. Through strength. There's a difference. Kane's voice softened slightly. We don't want to rule you, Commander. We want peace. Real peace. The kind that lasts because everyone is too afraid to break it. Peace through fear. If necessary, yes. Better to fear war than to suffer through it. Across the Alliance fleet, ships powered down their weapons. The battle was over. The war was over. Humanity had won. 3 days later, Galactic Council leader Torth stood before the assembled species. His voice was tired, defeated. The motion passes. Earth is granted a permanent seat on the Council. All military restrictions are accepted. The trials will begin next month. Admiral Kane sat in the New Earth ambassador's chair. She looked at the faces around her. Fear, respect, hatred, all mixed together. An old voice spoke. Counselor Reth, the ancient alien who warned everyone. Admiral Kane, you have proven humanity's strength. But tell me, how long will you enforce this peace? What happens when your children forget this war? When Earth becomes comfortable? When you stop watching? Kane met his old eyes. Then the galaxy better hope it learned its lesson. Because we'll always remember. Every human child will learn about President Chen, about this war, about what we're capable of when pushed. We'll remember. And we'll be ready. Always ready. Reth nodded slowly. I believe you, and that terrifies me. Good, Kane replied. Fear keeps people honest. She stood and addressed the entire council. Humanity didn't want this. We came to space looking for friends, for partners, for a better future, and we still want that. But you killed our leader. You thought we were weak. You learned differently. Now here's what happens next. We go home, we rebuild. We return to being merchants and scientists and explorers. We'll trade with you, learn from you, laugh with you. But never, never forget what we showed you today. We are your friends. We are your partners. We want peace. Kane's eyes swept across every ambassador. But we are also the most dangerous species in this galaxy. And if you ever threaten Earth again, if you ever harm another human leader, we won't just destroy your fleets. We'll end your civilization. The chamber was silent. Kane sat down. The message was clear. Humanity was now the guardian of the galaxy, the protector, the enforcer, and the galaxy would never forget the Battle of Nexus Point. The day 5 million ships faced humanity's wrath and lost. The courtroom on Earth was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Simple, clean, no decorations, just justice. One by one, the leaders who knew about the assassination faced judgment, not from humans alone, from representatives of every species. Even their own people sat in judgment. Ambassador Krax of the Zarek Empire stood in chains. The prosecutor, a human lawyer named James Park, read the charges. You planned the assassination of President Maria Chen. You hired the assassin. You gave the order. How do you plead? Krax looked at the floor. His proud scales were dull. Guilty. Why did you do it? Krax finally looked up. Because I thought humans were weak. Because I wanted to show the galaxy that Earth could be pushed around. Because I was a fool. Did you think about her family? Her daughter? Krax's voice broke. No, I thought only of power. Of showing strength. I didn't think of her as a person, just a target. And now I see what I truly am. A murderer. A coward. I deserve whatever punishment you give. The judges, 6 humans, 6 aliens, deliberated for 1 hour. The verdict was unanimous. Krax of the Zarek Empire, you are sentenced to life imprisonment. You will spend the rest of your days remembering what you took from the galaxy. Not just a president, but hope. Hope for real peace. Krax was led away. He never spoke again. 11 more trials followed. Some leaders were executed, some imprisoned. Some were sent home in disgrace, their names forever stained. The galaxy watched every moment. The trials were broadcast to every world. Everyone saw justice served. But the trials were just the beginning. The Reformation Admiral Kane became Earth's first galactic ambassador. She stood before the Reformed Council on its first day. The old council failed, she announced. It protected the powerful. It ignored the weak. It allowed assassination and conquest without consequences. That ends today. She presented humanity's plan for the new galaxy. The room listened in stunned silence. First, no species may maintain military forces beyond defensive needs. Earth will enforce this. Second, any aggression between species will be met with immediate human intervention. We don't care who started it. We'll finish it. Third, a new court is established. The Galactic Justice Court. It will investigate crimes between species. Humans will provide security and enforcement. Fourth, trade will be free and fair. No species may blockade or restrict another's trade without council approval. Fifth, and most important, any attack on a council member's leadership will be considered an attack on all of us. Never again will an assassination go unpunished. Council leader Torth raised his hand. And if we refuse these terms? Kane's answer was simple. Then Earth withdraws from the galaxy. We close our borders. We take our technology, our trade, our protection, and we leave. And you can return to the old ways. Wars every decade. Assassinations, backstabbing, chaos. She paused. Or you can accept that the galaxy needs a guardian. Someone strong enough to enforce peace. Someone who won't play favorites or accept bribes. You don't have to like us. You don't have to trust us. But you will respect us. And you will follow the rules. The vote was unanimous. Earth's terms were accepted. The new order began. 20 years after the war, Captain Maria Chen, the daughter of the fallen president, walked through the halls of the Earth Embassy on Council Station. She was 20 years old when her mother died. Now she was 40 and commanded Earth's peacekeeping fleet. An alarm sounded. She rushed to the command center. Report, she ordered. Captain, the Vortex Kingdom and the Helian Collective are fighting. Border dispute. 3 ships destroyed on each side. Launch immediately. Full diplomatic team and ready weapons. Yes, Captain. The Earth peacekeeping fleet arrived at the battle zone within 2 hours. 6 human destroyers. Small force, but enough. Captain Chen broadcast to both fleets. This is Captain Maria Chen of Earth Peacekeeping Force. Cease fire immediately or we will disable all ships. You have 30 seconds. The Vortex commander responded angrily. This is not your concern, human. This is between us and the Helians. 20 seconds. Chen replied calmly. You can't threaten us. We are sovereign. 10 seconds. The Helian commander broke in. Vortex ships, cease fire. It's not worth it. You're surrendering to humans? Coward. I'm not surrendering to humans. I'm respecting the peace. There's a difference. The Vortex commander hesitated. Then he remembered the stories. The Battle of Nexus Point. The trials. The monuments. All ships, cease fire, he ordered quietly. Captain Chen's voice softened. Thank you, commanders. Now let's talk about this border dispute. I'm sending mediators to both sides. We'll solve this peacefully. And if we can't agree? The Vortex commander asked. Then the council will decide. And whatever they decide, you'll accept it. Because that's how the new galaxy works. Both commanders agreed. The crisis ended without another death. As her ship jumped back to Earth, Captain Chen looked at her mother's picture on the wall. We did it, Mom, she whispered. We made the galaxy safer, just like you wanted. 30 years after the war, the Galactic Summit celebrated 3 decades of peace. No major wars, no assassinations. Trade flourished. Technology advanced faster than ever before. Species that once hated each other now worked together. The Zarak and humans built joint research stations. The Helians trained alongside Earth soldiers. The Vortex and humans created new trade routes. Ambassador Kane, now retired, attended the celebration. She was 75 years old, gray hair, tired eyes, but proud. Council leader Torth approached her. He was old too now. Admiral, forgive me, Ambassador. May I speak with you? Of course. They walked to a window overlooking space. Thousands of ships from hundreds of species flew peacefully nearby. I owe you an apology, Torth said. When President Chen was killed, I did nothing. I was afraid. I wanted to avoid conflict. I know, Kane replied. My cowardice led to war. Billions died because I didn't act. Yes, Torth looked at her. You don't forgive me. No, Kane said honestly, but I understand you. Fear makes people do stupid things, or in your case, do nothing. Does that make it better? No. But it makes it human. Well, not human exactly, but you understand what I mean. Torth smiled sadly. I do. Tell me, do you ever regret what Earth did? The war? The deaths? Kane thought carefully. Every day, every single day, I think about the 4 billion who died. The families destroyed. The lives ended. But I also think about the 50 years of peace that followed. The lives saved. The children who grew up without war. The species working together instead of killing each other. She turned to face Torth. We didn't want to be the galaxy's guardians. We wanted to be explorers, scientists, friends. But you made us choose, and we chose to protect, to enforce, to guard, at great cost. Yes, at terrible cost, but it was worth it. Across the celebration, young aliens from dozens of species laughed together. They didn't remember the war. They only knew peace. Look at them, Kane said. They don't fear each other. They're friends. That's what we fought for. 50 years after the war, present day. The old Zarak grandfather finished his story. His grandchild listened with wide eyes. So humans saved the galaxy? The child asked. In a way, yes, but they also destroyed much of it first. Are they good or bad? The grandfather thought about this. Both. Neither. They're complicated. They gave us peace, but through war. They protect us, but we must obey their rules. They're friends, but also dangerous. Are you afraid of them, grandfather? The old Zarak looked at the monument, at President Chen's kind face carved in stone. Yes, he admitted. I'm very afraid. I was there, child. I saw what they could do. I saw their power, their weapons, their rage. But I'm also grateful. Because without them, we'd still be fighting, killing, destroying. The galaxy would be chaos. So we need them? Yes, we need them, even if we fear them, even if we resent their power. We need someone to keep the peace. The child looked up at the monument. What happened to the human president's daughter? She became a captain, then an admiral, then Earth's ambassador to the council. She spent her whole life continuing her mother's work, building peace. Is she still alive? No. She died 5 years ago. Old age. The galaxy mourned her passing, even the Zarak Empire, even us who killed her mother. We honored her. Because she forgave us? The grandfather shook his head. No, she never forgave us. But she worked with us anyway. She put peace above revenge. That's what made her great. They sat in silence for a while. Then the child asked one more question. Grandfather, why does everyone fear humans? The old Zarak stood slowly. His joints ached. He was one of the last survivors of that terrible war. Because once, he said quietly, we made them angry. We killed their leader. We thought they were weak. We learned the truth. We learned that humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Not because they want to fight, but because they're so very, very good at it when they must. And the galaxy almost ended because of our mistake. He pointed at the monument. That statue, it's not just about President Chen. It's a warning, a reminder. Never awaken a sleeping monster. Never hurt humanity. Never test their patience. Because if you do, The grandfather's voice dropped to a whisper. If you do, they'll remind you what they really are. Not traders, not scientists, not explorers. Warriors. The greatest warriors the galaxy has ever known. The child looked at the statue with new understanding. President Maria Chen smiled down at them. Her expression was kind, peaceful, but now the child understood the truth. That smile represented hope, peace, friendship, and beneath it, hidden but always present, was a promise. Hurt us, and we'll hurt you worse. Kill us, and we'll destroy you completely. But leave us in peace, and we'll protect you forever. The galaxy learned that lesson 50 years ago, and they would never, ever forget. Epilogue on. Earth, in the Garden of Remembrance, President Maria Chen was buried. Her grave was simple, just her name and dates. No grand words, but visitors came every day. Humans, aliens, children, leaders, warriors, scientists. They came to remember the woman who wanted peace, and they came to remember the price that peace cost. Above the garden, Earth's defense satellites orbited silently. Weapons that could destroy worlds, ships that could appear anywhere in seconds, technology beyond imagination, all sleeping, all waiting, hoping never to be needed again, but ready. Always ready, because humanity learned something 50 years ago. Something the galaxy taught them through blood and fire. Peace is precious, worth fighting for, worth dying for. But more than that, worth killing for. And if the galaxy ever forgot that lesson, if anyone ever threatened Earth again, if another leader fell to assassination, then the sleeping giant would wake once more, and this time, there would be no mercy. The end.